Alexander Cole built his empire with precision. He lived by logic, never by emotion. Every move was calculated, cold, and controlled. That summer afternoon, his balance shattered quietly. The glasshouse bistro shimmered with wealth and whispers. He sat in his corner, Armani sharp. A Bluetooth buzzed, deals worth millions unfolded. Numbers ruled his world, rhythm and reason. Then a voice broke the perfect order. Her dress was torn, her eyes desperate. "Please, sir, may I have bread?" The owner snarled, waving her away harshly. "This isn't a shelter. Get out now." Laughter dimmed, conversation froze, pity vanished quickly. Alexander glanced up once, then back down. He ignored her. She left silently, dignity intact, hope dying. He thought nothing of it, until later. Outside, heat burned the city's golden edges. Then he heard it, a child's prayer. "Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this bread." The words echoed from a nearby alley. He followed the voice into the shadows. There she was, kneeling beside a dumpster. Her hands held moldy bread like treasure. She smiled faintly, eyes closed in gratitude. He froze, heart pounding, shame creeping inward. She whispered, "Please help my sister tonight." The words struck deeper than any insult. He stepped forward, shoes crunching on glass. She flinched, clutching the bread protectively close. "I'm sorry, mister. I won't dirty you." He knelt slowly, voice softer than usual. "You're going to eat that, little one?" She nodded. "It's still good. Just green." She pointed toward boxes stacked in darkness. "My sister's there. She's smaller than me." He saw her, Leah, clutching a torn blanket. A whisper of fear, eyes huge and hollow. "I eat first," Maya said, chin lifted. "If I'm okay, Leah can eat later." Her words crushed his heart like glass. He crouched, tears burning his dry eyes. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Maya. That's Leah. We live right here." She pointed to cardboard patched with plastic. "This is home since Mommy went to heaven." He stared at their fragile shelter, speechless. "They'd separate us at the shelter," she said. "So I ran. I keep us together." He looked at his gold watch in shame, a Rolex gleaming beside children eating mold. Wealth meant nothing beside such raw love. He whispered, "What if I bring real food?" She frowned, suspicion flickering in her eyes. "What kind of gift? I can't pay." He shook his head gently, no strings attached. "Just food. Hot food. You and Leah." She stared, then asked softly, "Both of us?" He nodded. "Always together." She hesitated, then smiled faintly through dirt. "Let me keep my bread first." He watched her tuck it away carefully. Then she placed her tiny hand in his. It trembled, but it was trust reborn. They walked together toward the street's light. For the first time, he felt alive. But deeper in the alley, something moved. Another voice, smaller, called out weakly. "Ivy, it's okay," Maya whispered softly. Her hair tangled, her eyes impossibly bright. Alexander's chest ached with helpless tenderness. 3 children, 3 souls surviving the impossible. He crouched again, heart breaking completely now. "You live here too?" he asked gently. "Yes," Maya said. "We take care of Ivy. We tell stories when she cries at night." Her small voice carried a lifetime of pain. He felt unworthy to stand before them. Ivy peeked at him, clutching her breadcrumb. "She wants to know if you're safe," Maya said. He nodded, tears clouding his vision. "I'm safe," he whispered. "I promise you that." He didn't take it. He offered kindness instead. He laid a silk handkerchief on the ground. "For you," he said softly. "Something clean." "You can't stay here," he said firmly. "They'll take Ivy. They'll split us apart." He saw the truth in her trembling hands. He knelt again, meeting her tearful eyes. Finally, she nodded. "If Ivy says yes." He hesitated, then lifted her gently up. Her body trembled, but she didn't resist. The words shattered him completely inside. That day, Alexander Cole became a father. But peace never lasts without a storm. News spread quickly of his strange kindness. Gossip twisted into rumors, then accusations. Victoria, his sister, fed the flames eagerly. "He's unstable," she told investors and friends. "He's lost reason, endangering those children." Soon, headlines questioned his sanity publicly. Then came the government, papers in hand. Social workers stormed his home with cold faces. The girls screamed as strangers took them. Maya fought. Leah cried. Ivy clung helplessly. Alexander begged, but rules crushed compassion. "They're safe," they said. "It's for their good." But he saw terror in their tear-streaked faces. Cars drove away, taking his heart with them. That night, Victoria called, voice dripping venom. "You can't fight the system, brother," she mocked. "Sign the company over and they'll return." He clenched the phone, fury igniting his chest. "They're my family. I'll never surrender." "You'll lose everything," she hissed cruelly. He whispered, "Then I'll lose it fighting." He called Marcus, his lawyer, his oldest friend. "File everything," he ordered. "We start war." Courtrooms replaced boardrooms. Emotion replaced ego. Victoria came armed with lies and lawyers. They called him reckless, unstable, unfit, delusional. But when Maya spoke, the truth surfaced. "He saved us," she said, voice trembling strong. "He kept his promise. He's our daddy now." Leah spoke too, shy but brave and pure. "He reads stories when we're scared at night." Even Ivy, too young, wrapped him tightly. She whispered softly, "Daddy," in open court. Silence fell. The judge's eyes softened deeply. Victoria's facade cracked under her own greed. Custody was granted, adoption to soon follow. The girls wept, laughing through tears of relief. Alexander held them tight on the courthouse steps. "You're safe," he said, "forever safe now." A year later, the Glass House Bistro was gone. In its place stood Bread of Light Cafe. Where millionaires once dined, children now smiled. The scent of soup filled the streets. Volunteers worked, laughter replaced polished silence. Maya, Leah, and Ivy stood beside him. "No child leaves hungry, ever," read the wall. "Daddy, are you nervous?" Maya whispered gently. He smiled. "Maybe, but we're together." She nodded proudly. "Then it's our cafe, too." When he spoke, his voice carried purpose. "A year ago, I saw a prayer. A little girl thanked heaven for moldy bread. That moment broke me and built me. Her name is Maya. She's here today." The crowd listened, hearts open, tears glistening. "She wasn't alone," he continued softly. "Her sisters Leah and Ivy fought too. I thought success was money, but I was wrong. Now I know. Success means love shared freely." Maya stepped up, taking the microphone bravely. "When you're hungry, you feel invisible," she said. "But Daddy saw us and said we mattered." Leah added, "This cafe is for every kid." "And the bread isn't green anymore," Ivy shouted. Laughter and tears filled the air together. That night, the cafe glowed like hope reborn. Alexander sat holding his daughters close. Maya leaned on him. Leah smiled softly. Ivy slept in his arms, peaceful and safe. He looked around the cafe, warmth surrounding him. This was his fortune, the only one that mattered. No marble, no stock, no title compared. The richest man in the city held love, because one day he stopped and listened. One prayer, one child, one act of kindness. And the world became brighter forever. Adrian stared at the folder in silence. The manila edges trembled between his fingers. Hazel and Grace Bennett. Names he now knew. A mother sick. 2 daughters barely surviving. He closed the file, heart heavy, mind restless. Old memories whispered through the walls around him. He remembered cracked ceilings and empty dinner plates, the sound of his own mother praying. He had promised never to be poor again, but wealth had built walls around his soul. Now 2 little girls had broken them down. The next morning, he drove east through rain. Portland's skyline faded behind streaked car windows. He found the building, gray, tired, forgotten. Paint peeled from the walls like shedding skin. Children's laughter echoed faintly from distant rooms. Adrian carried a grocery bag in silence. Inside, the hallway smelled of damp and hope. He climbed the stairs, floorboards crying underfoot. Apartment 3B. Bennett family written in marker. He knocked once, then again, gently this time. A cough, a shuffle, then a quiet voice. "Who is it?" "It's Adrian, from the bakery," he said. The door opened just a crack, uncertain eyes. Clary Bennett stood there, frail but proud, her hair thin, her smile gentle but tired. Hazel peeked from behind her mother's arm. Grace stood beside, clutching the same bread. Adrian lifted the bag, smiling softly. "I thought you could use a few things." Clary hesitated, eyes glistening with quiet gratitude. "You've already done enough, sir. Please, don't trouble." "It's no trouble," he replied, voice sincere. "May I come in for a minute?" The room was small, but it was home. Curtains thin, walls painted by children's hands, drawings of hearts, stick figures, and sunlight. He placed the groceries gently on the table. Canned soup, fruit, bread, a carton of milk. Hazel gasped. "Fresh milk? For real?" Adrian smiled, something breaking softly inside him. "Yes," he said. "For real, sweetheart." Grace reached for her mother's hand, whispering, "Mommy." Clary turned away, tears falling without permission. Adrian looked at the ceiling, voice trembling faintly. "Your daughters, they remind me of someone." "Someone you loved?" she asked quietly. "Someone I lost," he answered, barely above whisper. For a moment, silence filled the tiny room. Only the sound of rain and breathing remained. Then Clary said, "You've already given more than food." Adrian blinked. "What do you mean?" "You gave them hope," she said gently, "and hope feeds longer than any loaf." Her words struck deeper than he expected them to. He nodded, unable to find the right words. He stood to leave, pausing by the door. Hazel ran up, pressing something into his palm. It was a drawing, 3 stick figures smiling. A man, 2 girls, and a small house. "That's us," she said shyly. "And that's you." Adrian looked down, the paper trembling slightly. "I don't deserve this," he whispered, half to himself. Grace smiled. "You helped us? You do." He walked out into the rain, heart full. The city lights blurred through tears and raindrops. He looked at the drawing once more, sighing. The ink had started to run in places, but the warmth behind it, unshakable, real. A single act of kindness had rewritten his life. Days passed, but Adrian couldn't stay away. The Bennett home haunted his thoughts each night. He'd sit by his window, city lights flickering. The drawing rested on his desk, folded neatly. 3 figures smiled through crayon-colored dreams. He started leaving quiet packages by their door. Groceries, medicine, warm blankets for the winter. No notes, no names, only silent kindness. He watched from his car, never being seen. Hazel once waved at the shadows, smiling softly. Inside, Clary wondered who their secret angel was. Each morning, the girls would rush to check. "Mom, look, more soup! And apples this time!" Clary's eyes filled with tears, heart torn between gratitude. She prayed for the man she'd never met. Adrian's world began to shift without warning. Board meetings lost their color and urgency. Contracts and profits felt suddenly meaningless, hollow echoes. His assistant Ethan noticed the distant gaze often. "Boss, are you sure you're all right lately?" Adrian only smiled, eyes lost in thought. "For once, Ethan, I think I am." He spent nights driving through rain-wet streets, sometimes stopping, sometimes simply watching the city breathe. He saw hunger, struggle, and quiet resilience everywhere. One evening, he returned to Pine Street Bakery. The same cinnamon scent wrapped around the air. Mr. Thompson recognized him instantly, smiling wide. "Back again, sir? You've been missed around here." Adrian nodded. "Just coffee. Maybe some peace, too." They sat a while, talking about simple things. The old baker leaned in, voice soft and wise. "Funny thing about kindness, Mr. Miles. It echoes." Adrian looked up, curiosity flickering in his eyes. "Echoes?" he asked, stirring his untouched cup. "Yes," Thompson said. "It comes back multiplied." Adrian thought of Hazel's smile, Grace's gentle promise. He thought of Clary's trembling but proud hands, and in that moment, he knew something deeply. He didn't want this feeling to fade again. The next morning, he met with Ethan early. "Call the landlord on East Burnside Avenue," he said. "Tell him the Bennett family's rent is paid, no names, no records, and just kindness. Understood?" Ethan paused, eyes widening in quiet disbelief. "You're serious?" he asked, searching Adrian's face carefully. Adrian smiled faintly, gaze distant but certain. Winter crept into Portland with quiet cruelty. The streets shimmered silver beneath the frozen dawn. Inside the Bennett apartment, the air felt heavy. Clary coughed softly, hiding pain from her daughters. Hazel covered her with an old blanket. "Mom, you should eat something," Grace whispered gently. Clary smiled weakly, her face pale and tired. "I'm fine, sweet pea. Save it for Hazel." The little girls exchanged a glance, fear lingering silently. The bread was gone, the cupboards stood bare. Adrian didn't know yet, not fully. He had noticed Ethan's reports turning vague. Rent was paid, but utilities had lapsed. Medical bills piled like snow on doorsteps. Something inside Adrian said, "Go check yourself." That evening, he drove through the cold streets. The city blurred past like forgotten memories. He parked near Burnside, coat collar raised high. A single light flickered in the Bennett window. He climbed the worn stairs, heart beating unevenly. When the door opened, Hazel froze in shock. Grace gasped, clutching her sister's arm tightly. "Mr. Bakery Man," she whispered, eyes wide. Adrian smiled softly, voice low and gentle. "Yes, Grace, it's me. May I come in?" The apartment smelled faintly of medicine and dust. Clary stirred weakly, startled by his presence. "You shouldn't be here," she murmured breathlessly. Adrian knelt beside her, voice steady but kind. "Please let me help. Just this once." Clary shook her head, pride flickering through pain. "We've taken enough already. I can't accept more." Adrian reached for her trembling hand gently. "This isn't charity," he said. "It's gratitude." Her tears came quietly, words caught in her throat. Hazel brought water, small hands shaking slightly. Grace clung to her mother's blanket tightly. Adrian turned to Ethan, who stood in silence. "Call my doctor," he ordered, tone firm yet kind. "Tell him to come immediately. No delays tonight." Within the hour, a doctor entered swiftly. He checked Clary's pulse, whispered a few words. "Pneumonia," he said softly, packing his tools. "She needs rest, warmth, and hospital care immediately." Adrian nodded, already dialing his private clinic. The girls watched as men lifted their mother. Tears streamed, hands clutching each other tightly. Adrian knelt before them, eyes filled with promise. "She'll be fine. I'll make sure of it." Hazel sniffled. "You promise?" Adrian smiled. "I promise." That night, snow began to fall gently. The city slept under its cold, white hush. Inside the hospital room, machines softly hummed. Adrian sat beside Clary, watching her breathe. He had never prayed before that moment. For once, it wasn't about success or gain. It was about saving something truly human. He looked at her, fragile but strong. And for the first time, Adrian felt small, not defeated, just finally, beautifully human.